Welcome back to MOSHCAST. It is I, Almighty Sai. We're chilling today. Welcome to another week of fucking just bullshit. All the time, always. We have a very special guest. It is a new guy. It's a new guest. It's a new person that hasn't been on the pod before. Not even on the sound side, not on the visual side. He hasn't even been in the realm of the cast itself. When we used to do podcasts at Print Nation and High Fidelity. Shout out to those places. They know that I love them. They love me. We have a special guest, Roman.
Hey.
And it's Roman. Hey, everybody hates Roman. Or, like a TV show. Or,
Wow.
Everyone meets Roman. It's one of those names where it's like you could put the name in a TV show and it's like...
Oh, yeah. There's been times whenever, I see my stuff, on things. Like, if I get, a package that I order on Amazon, it has my full name. My full name's Roman Juarez, by the way.
Oh, yes.
But I see it on a package, and I'm like, damn, that looks good. That looks fucking good.
You're like, dang, man.
Gives me a little bit of ego boost, man.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you can see Roman, on a tattoo. It's like a tattoo-worthy name.
Yeah.
Have it all on their back, just Roman right here.
Just there.
Just a whole back tat,
I don't want somebody to have my name on themselves.
No, not even a side piece have a Roman on their cheek or anything.
Nah, that'd be weird.
Nah.
To me, it'd be weird.
Some girl that you've been messing around with for a long time. She's like, I got a surprise for you, and then she comes out and she has Roman right here above her eyebrow. What did you do?
I'd just be like, what the fuck are you doing? I know, what are you doing?
Dude, have you seen Uncut Gems?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
When she's like, I got something for you, and it was his name on her ass.
And he goes, why would you do that? Why would you do that? That'd be fucking me.
And she was like, 'cause I love you, 100%. Dude, that's a ride or die fool.
No, that is.
Not even asking him for a tattoo
too,
like that, just doing that, and then be like, I got a tattoo on my ass for you. I'd be like, that's day one.
I can kind of see it, but then at the same time, I'd just be like, but why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
He did. He. Spoiler alert. If you've never seen Uncut Gems, don't listen to either 15 seconds of this. But he did.
Movie.
He did die at the end.
Yeah, okay. So I've watched that movie, and I was like, I had the same reaction. I think pretty much with everyone, of just seeing how he died.
Oh yeah.
And it's just because he reaches to that top and then he just dies.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, you're cheering him, and then you're like,
he was so down on his luck that
Oh.
he got to that point, and everybody around him was just pissed off at him. He's like,
because
we did it.
He made
it. And he's like, I got you. I can give you your money back. Blah blah. And the guy's
And
like,
then
nah,
just
it's the principle. Boom.
boom. Oh, it just devastated me so much.
Oh.
So then after that, I started making people watch that movie and just looking at the reactions.
Oh yeah.
And then just yeah. And then especially my dad too. He just goes, no. I got devastated. No.
Yeah, it was literally 10 seconds of he did what he came there to do. He bet on the right person or whatever the case may be. He got that money and then done skis. All done.
But that's a good movie too.
My question I ask a lot of my friends that watch that is you think she cheat? You think she cheated when Weekend was there? They were in that bathroom. And he was in the bathroom with her.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, my fucking, my dick's fucking big, blah, blah. And you didn't get to see the situation with her. And he goes in there and is like, what the fuck are you doing with him in the bathroom, blah, blah. Do you think she cheated? You think she was cheating on him?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he cheated. And even then, if the Weekend was flirting on her.
Right.
I mean, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
You know?
She got a tattoo on her ass, bro.
And I think, he said it too. I was just trying to give you exposure and all that.
Right.
I was trying to see, and all that.
Yeah.
But and I do see he kind of took it far.
He kind of took it to heart a little bit, but at the same time, bro, like I said, if you got a chick that's willing to get a tattoo on her ass for you, I mean she's ride or die, 100.
She did,
Yep. So I don't know why we got onto that one, dude. We were talking about steak. So sorry, vegans and vegetarians that watch this podcast. I like to eat meat, and I did. This is my thought that I had today. I was like, I bought these steaks probably Wednesday of last week, and I've been marinating them a little bit. And I'm like, man, like I want to eat a steak this weekend at least. You know, I want to eat a steak because I like my weekend steaks for sure. And so we ate our steaks today. And after I got done eating that steak, I was like, man, like I'm gonna talk about this steak for about a week.
How do you like your steaks,
dude? So if somebody knows what I'm talking about, so if I'm going out and getting a steak and they know what I'm talking about, I like to get my steaks blue rare.
Me too.
Yeah, I like the rarest of the rare. I like the sear on the top. I like the salt and the pepper getting kind of cooked up in there. But dude, you don't touch the inside. There's no inside touching there. No. It's all
just
primal.
One, two.
Yeah.
Just fucking give it.
I say if I was to give the best estimate on how to cook my steak would be 3 minutes on each side and then done.
Yeah. Oh my god, my dad so I found that out why I love rare steaks. My dad, he cooks steaks for me for a whole bunch. Like,
oh yeah.
So like, of course, this weekend he cooked it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of steak do you like? Like what cut?
I don't mind a ribeye.
Okay.
But I love either a New York or a T-bone.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say New York, dude. New Yorks are fucking.
New Yorks are. Oh my god, I love and especially rare.
Oh,
and
dude.
he gave it to me one time rare, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't cook it that much," and I ate it, and I was like, "This is a fucking good steak here."
Right.
Like, and then that's when I found out I love rare steaks.
I like fucking ribeyes. And I
Not
like
good for the
shit.
heart, though. I know that. Not good.
Oh
for the
yeah,
heart.
a lot of cholesterol.
Mm-hmm. But.
You can't go past it, dude. You can't go past the fucking steak, dude. If you know how to cook a steak, or if you know that the people that are cooking that know how to cook that steak, man, like it's one of those things where like you'll talk about. Like I'm that type of guy where if I eat something real good, I'll talk about it for a month, dude. I'll talk about it. I'm like, I went to this place and they cooked me up the best fucking plate. Man, they're so like. So a few years ago, I went to Puerto Rico. I was able to go to Puerto Rico, and I went to this place called I think it was called Tejas de Puerto Rico, or I can't remember what the place is called. I'm sorry, and I really don't want to like blare it out because this place I know it was probably popular in Puerto Rico, but like if you go to Puerto Rico and it's something Tejas like because Tejas means something in Spanish. What does it mean?
Texas.
Like, but.
Yeah, it means Texas.
It means Texas, but Joby, can you do me a favor? Yeah. Can you look up what Tejas means in Spanish? Yeah. Okay. I think it's like friendship.
No, so I think so. Yeah, you're right. Like
or love or something.
Yeah, because I think the natives who were here, that's what they named it.
Yeah, it was like Tejas. It's not like Texas. It's just Texas gets its name from the term or the word Tejas.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Texas was a part of Mexico. Anybody doesn't know about that. Which, if we're not going to get into to political stuff, but if Texas secedes from America, from the whole nation, don't they remember that Texas was a part of Mexico? And don't you think that Mexico is going to be like, that used to be ours? Yeah. And we're just going to take it over again.
That's true, yeah.
What was it?
Roof tiles.
Roof tiles? Maybe I'm wrong. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm dumb. Okay. Maybe I made that up. But there's a restaurant in Puerto Rico, something Tejas, whatever. Roof tiles. Roof tiles. Puerto Rico roof tiles. But
thank you, Jovi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting us know that Tejas means roof tiles. We get there and it's like a barbecue joint. Like it's an actual like meat, but they do it where it's on those giant skewers and they cut off the pieces that you want and they keep on rotating. It's like a rotation thing.
I forgot the name.
Brazilian barbecue. This is why I have her. This is why she's my girlfriend. She knows everything. Brazilian barbecue. So I get in there and they're like, how do you like your meat? I was like, dude, I like it rare. I was like, to be honest, bro, like I'm here on vacation. I want it like good. I want it rare. And he goes,
if you're gonna go all in.
Yeah, he's like, you don't think I know how to cook rare? And I was like, to be honest, like I'm from Texas, and they say that they know how to cook shit. Sometimes they get that shit wrong. He goes, I got you. I was like, okay. Brazilian barbecue, like it's one of those things like it can't be that specific.
Yeah.
So like you'll have your meats, and that's how you get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes in rotation or whatever. But he brought out everything that was rare and put it on my plate, right? I'm telling you, bro, Puerto Rico knows how to do it, dude.
Yeah.
They know how to fucking cook up
don't
some
doubt it.
barbecue, dude. Because I was there ready to be like, I want to see what they got. And I'm telling you, bro, I'm sorry, Texas. Puerto Rico's got it, bro. Puerto Rico's got it because they brought everything out as rare as possible, and it was so fucking good, dude. Like I went almost primal. Like the meat just like fell off the bone and like it melted in my mouth. And I was like, bro, this is how cavemen ate their shit, bro. This is how cavemen ate their shit, dog. And I was like, bro, I'm ready to go outside and go into a river and eat a fucking fish raw. I'm just gonna get a salmon out of the fucking river and just fucking eat that shit like that. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you ever have a chance to go to Puerto Rico, go to that place, bro. Like you won't. It'll be fucking phenomenal. It's a phenomenal place. I will go there one day again. I'm going. So yeah. I love meat. I love eating that shit. And I'll talk about it for a fucking week. So I ate my steak today, and I was like, man, I made a fucking good fucking steak. And I'm going to talk about it to all my friends. Because, like, grilling out is good. It's cool or whatever. But I cook my steaks on the fucking stove. On pan, bro.
It's something different about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get to keep the flavors that you want inside that pan. And you can do whatever the fuck you want. And you can keep the temperature. I mean, I know, like, people that, like, really do cook on a fucking grill or whatever. They know what they're doing. It's a juggle thing with me. It's a up or down. I can get a grill going, but I have to be watching that bitch to fucking make sure that it's at the right thing. On a stove, nothing's going wrong.
It's much more convenient, yeah.
Yeah, it's much more convenient. And, like, you know, sometimes, I live in an apartment, dude. Like, I can't fucking just go outside and fucking cook like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I like it. I like cooking on the stove, so. Do you eat a lot of meat, like red meat and stuff?
Yeah, too much red meat.
Yeah, I eat too much red meat, too.
But, I mean, it's Texas.
Yeah.
You can't
where are you going to go that doesn't have fucking meat,
oh my
you know?
God.
So.
I think I ate, like, what did I eat that Friday? It was a steak. It was a ribeye. And my dad smoked it. So he seared it first, and then he threw it on the fucking smoker. And then I ate that. It was lobster tail.
Ooh, dude, lobster
baked potato,
tail, bro.
Asparagus, all cooked from the grill.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, fuck. It was
Yeah,
good.
lobster tail is fucking good, too.
Oh, my God. I never had lobster tail before.
You know, that was your first time?
That was my first time eating lobster tail.
Damn, lobster goes hard, too. The seafood just goes hard altogether. Man, the seafood is fucking dope. I love seafood. I love fish. I love shrimp. I love crab. I love all that shit, bro.
Oh, I fucking love
I think the only thing that I can't really fuck with is oysters. Oysters is probably another thing that I will fuck with a lot. I know that it's what is that word called?
Aphrodisiac. I was about to say that because crab is an aphrodisiac, and then oysters.
Oh, really? Crab is too, huh?
Crab is too.
No shit. See, I didn't know that.
Which was weird because whenever I was little, I ate it, and I was like, "Why do I feel this way? Like, why do I feel this way?
Why do I feel like doing weird things?"
Yeah. And then I did a weird thing in the bathroom, and I was like, all right, we're good.
Right, cool. I'm straight on it. Hell yeah, dude, yeah. Sorry, vegans and vegetarians. We're done talking about fucking meat. I'm sorry, you know. But, you know, sometimes we just have to let it out. How have you been, dude? How's everything going?
I've been doing good.
March. So happy Easter. I know this is not Easter now when it drops, but, you know, it was Easter today. I found out that I watched that movie Immaculate on Friday. I forgot that it was Good Friday, and Immaculate, the ending it has an ending where it's like Jesus got crucified this day, and also in this movie something dies. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I'm not gonna tell you why. I'm like, it's kind of weird that I watched this on this day, so you know. And then Easter is today, so. It was just funny because I watched that movie on Friday and I felt kind of weird about it. And then today I ate a steak and I'm like, you know, I don't know if I'm doing this shit right. I don't know if I'm doing this Easter thing right, but you know. But yeah, happy Easter. Oh, I also found out that there's not a lot of horror movies about Easter. You know how like you have like Black Christmas or Xmas or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have these really cool like
killing.
Krampus and things killing and
My Bloody Valentine.
Bloody Valentine, right? There's not a whole lot of movies about like, you know, serial killer Easter bunny
Easter
or
like 4th of July.
Yeah, I would say the closest thing that I can say to becoming an Easter flick would probably be like Midsummer, but like Midsummer's not even about Easter.
It's more like a cult film.
Yeah, it's like a cult film.
It's like folk horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really put it on Easter, but it has that vibe because flowers and the new
and
stuff
spring
or whatever.
And
but yeah, I looked on Google and I was like, you know, I don't think I've ever seen an Easter horror film, and like some of them like B-rated films,
yeah.
and it's like, that doesn't really. I mean, they do count, but it's like, am I gonna really watch this? You know, so like, hey, film people, get on it, make a really badass
Easter movie,
Easter thriller, dude. It would be sick. It would be sick to have like an Easter bunny.
It would be pretty cool if it's like a thriller.
Yeah.
Or it's like a detective trying to like look for it, and it's like, just happens to be like Easter.
Do like a mystery murder.
Yeah.
Where it's like a serial killer that kills people every Easter, and it has to deal with like the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
And then it's like every Easter this guy like murders these people this way, and then it's like really fucked up.
Yeah.
And then they get real deep into it, like that whole that Jim Carrey movie, Dark Crimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he gets real deep into it, and then there's like a sex ring, and it's like the whole smut and like the BDSM, like, and all that shit got real deep. And then, yeah, Jim Carrey's a good one. That was a crazy cook for Jim Carrey for sure. I was like, you're gonna be the funniest guy, and then be the darkest fucking person in this movie.
But he pulls it off.
He pulls it off really well. He pulls it off that way. Not only. He pulls it off in a German accent. Like, he has a German accent with him as well. Like, it's all set in Germany and stuff. Or, I think it's in Germany. But anyway. But yeah, happy Easter. So, March, your whole month of March was pretty good?
It's been actually really busy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in a good way. It wasn't like a hectic busy where I'm like running around and doing it. It was more like I had shit to do.
Good.
And like helping me in that way. So like I had a so we had like a goth rave around, when was that? Like, because I came to your house here that day, but I don't remember what day.
It was my birthday weekend, so I think it was Friday or Saturday.
Yes, it was a Friday, but I don't remember the exact date. And they had a goth rave, and I was just like, well, shit, I'm going to go do my photography.
Yes.
And I'm going to get some shots in, right? So I had both my digital, and I had just bought a new equipment where instead of holding one camera at a time, I was holding two cameras, and it was like a leather.
Oh yeah, you're showing us. You had the leather holster. It looked like you were holding guns, but it was like two cameras.
Yeah, and then especially it matched with the whole outfit because it was like leather, these leather latex gloves that I was wearing, and then Jovi was helping me with her with the
ropes.
Shibari, the ropes. And it was like a corset on the
top. What was it called? Shibari.
Yeah. And we were having I think we were having troubles like trying to make it more.
Oh yeah, fit the body a little bit.
Yeah,
fit your structure. You know.
So, I mean, I have.
Yeah, but it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
You're just like thick a little, a little thickum.
I'm a thick boy.
I think we're just all thick boys here. You know,
nah.
Most of my friends, they're thick boys. You know, thick boys. I was a thick boy all the time, dude. I can't even remember when the last time I was a skinny dude. And I did run track and cross country and stuff in high school. And I just, you know, like growing up poor and stuff, my parents needed money, so I just started working, and then I started giving not a fuck about my sports and stuff. And then I was like,
that's me too. I was doing soccer.
Oh, you do look like a soccer player or something.
But it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I tried it, and then they're just like, "You ain't eat, chief," and they just.
You're like, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's when I was like, "You're right," but I still wanted to try it.
Yeah, I did like track and cross country, and then I did tennis, and then what else did I do? I did a little bit of baseball and softball.
Okay.
And then
I do see the softball. I do see the baseball.
Yeah, I love softball. Yeah. Softball is I love softball. If I ever get a chance to be like having like a summer or a season where I can do like an adult softball league or what are they called? Mixed. It's like female and male. The bi games or bi seasonal softball leagues and stuff. Like I'll do that shit too. My dad used to play softball a lot, but like you get into that scene, bro. You get into the adult softball scene,
yeah,
bro. they are fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
It is a ruthless place over there because they do like the Halloween Howls and shit, and you're playing like for like 3 days fucking straight.
And they drink a lot.
They drink a lot, and they get pissed off. And,
Yeah.
and men that drink a lot and get pissed off with bats, oh, you're fucked. You're fucked, dude.
You're driving home with a bat in the windshield. And
dude, I've seen the craziest shit. I've seen people's jaws just fucking be broken. And
Jesus.
yeah, I was in that adult softball life for a little bit when we were growing up because my dad, like I said, my dad played softball. So, you know, going to fucking games on the weekends and playing nonstop from Friday to Sunday. You know, people getting fucked up, you know, tweaked out on whatever drug or whatever, you know, and they're playing fucking softball and the wrong fucking move or the wrong fucking call, man. There's a bat in your face somewhere. Sets them off, dude. But I love softball. Hit me up if you play softball.
But other than that, I mean, this March it was pretty good. So I had that. And then a lot of people love those photos. Yeah.
And then I like the ones on Instagram, dude.
Oh,
they're peak, dude.
And then I had a photo shoot with a girl, and she was graduating this year. Nice. And she did both film and digital. And I just developed one roll of film, and it was like slide film, and she came out great. It was like perfect. And that was giving me a lot of exposure to people.
Did you do that specifically for her graduating, or was it just she was graduating and so she wanted to do a photo shoot?
Yeah, that's exactly. Like she was being graduated and she wanted to release some photos that were on her senior day, I think that was called. Mm-hmm. And so she specifically asked me to do her photo shoot.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, hell fucking yeah, like I would want to do a photo shoot. Like, you know, I never passed down an opportunity to try to get better and try to get myself out there. And so they came out really great. She was very helpful in this situation. And then she came out great. I don't know. She killed it. Yeah. She I was proud of those photos.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because I have a friend, his name's 80 Flicks. Shout out to 80 Flicks. He's been on pod. He's more involved in like prom, graduation, sports. His background was that he was the photographer for the yearbooks for school, and then he continued on doing that. So like he still goes to like the sporting events, and like he has a lot of like the prom, the weddings and stuff like that. He'll do all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you that, like, do you think that you could, because we're on my side looking at to what you do, you're more involved in the art, the music side of everything. You're gonna be involved in like the shows. You're involved downtown. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say underground necessarily. It's more like
I kind of want to do.
There's like you have a scene, and that scene.
I want to be in that underground scene where, in that kind of guerrilla kind of type of like photography where I can just like pop in, take pictures of whoever, whatever, like street photography. But one, like downtown's not very congested. Yeah. So it's like you don't have people like walking down, you know. And then so like mostly like events like that. Like there was like Saturday, yesterday. There was like a metal show going on.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. And my dad was kind of like had some company, and I wanted to give him some company. So you know, I was just like, I passed on it. But like those kind of events too, like I really try not to pass up on it. Right. Sometimes like, hey, you know,
sometimes you have to. You know?
I'm gonna take a day, you know, just for myself. But sometimes whenever like I got nothing to do and like there's an event, even if it's like not my style of event that I would go to, I try to go to it because it's like I can get a good shot here.
Oh,
you know?
right.
Like bike shows or car shows or art shows. And that metal show, I think it would have been great too because it was more underground and a lot of people were, you know, and it would give them exposure and it'll give me more exposure. Right. And then that's the thing too is like networking, you know, like people will see these photos and then they'll text me, like hit me up on Instagram and basically be like, hey, you know, these photos are really great. Like maybe we should do a photo shoot. And we start like, you know, communicating. But yeah, it's been doing really good.
See, that's what I was gonna say because the photos that you took for the graduation or the girl that was graduating, would you be willing to do like, say like would you be willing to get involved in like graduation and prom photos and stuff like that?
I try to dabble with everything.
Okay.
Everything, and it's kind of hard to be able to do everything because it's like, you get famous for one thing and then they see that and
right.
So to sell yourself that like, oh, I can do anything. Like I can do, either all the way from graduation to underground shows to, regular portraits to nude art. It's like
right.
And it's like that's what everyone wants. It's like, oh, you can do best for everything.
Right.
But then it's kind of hard to navigate to do, everything.
See, and I've been thinking about this for a while, probably about like since 2024 hit, because I've been trying to get involved in the music scene because I play drums and I've been wanting to be in a band. I've been wanting to see if anybody would be willing to start a band with me or what the case is. I just want to play my drums again. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I've noticed that like, and I'm not saying that there are kids that or there are people that are older than me that do this as well, but I'm just saying in my generation and the generation under me and so on and so forth, I've begin to see that the majority of everybody that's doing something also goes full in to where it's like, oh, I want to get involved in all of the spectrum of what I do, so like when I talk to people about their music or their art or their photography or videography, back then there was people that got famous for specific thing and they stuck to that specific genre of photography or music or videography or what the case may be, and they liked doing that and they got somewhere with it. But my generation and down or younger, they're like, I'm down to learn everything. Yeah. And I'm down to do anything and everything about it. And I think it's really good to be that way, especially in art form like this, in this realm, videography, photography, and music, because when I was growing up, everybody was like, yeah, man, like I play guitar, but I only play country music, or I only play rock, or, this style or whatever. And it's like, bro, like...
You're also opening up yourself to being... For more opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if I'm just going to be, like, a wedding photographer, then I'm just going to be a wedding photographer.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can say, like, no, I do everything.
Right.
So it's like, oh, can you do weddings? And it's like, yeah, I can do weddings. Or, hey, could you do a quinceañera? And it's like, yeah, I can do a quinceañera.
Yeah.
Or, so I'm open to anything,
Good.
And like, or a live show and be like, hey, we noticed your work. We want you to be our photographer and capture these events and capture these moments that are doing these shows. And it's like, yeah, I'm down for it. And it's like you let them know, like, hey, so this is the media that I do. I don't just do digital. I do also film. And that's what the one thing I try to do, and that's what I love about is that film photography. Mm-hmm. It sets apart. It makes me unique and sets me apart from everyone.
And you have your own style, too. Mm-hmm. That's what people don't understand. It's like, oh, if I have this style, then I have to stick with this type of sound or this type of photography. Yeah. And I have a style that I do it, so I'm going to have to stick to this genre. It's like, no, like, you have your style, and then you can go into other facets and use your style for that facet. So if you're, like, at a wedding or, like, say, quince or prom or whatever, you're like, hey, I have this style. I'm gonna do my ideas. Let me see what you like. If you like some of this stuff, cool. And then you and me can work on how you actually want to see, metal it down. Because honestly, like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any photographer is willing to let go of some type of style that is theirs, especially in photography. But they're not unwilling to make the people that they take pictures of uncomfortable with the stuff that you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're willing to listen to their ideas as well as much as what you have.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing with the girl who was graduating, was that, like, every time I have a singular model, so it's not, so if it's a crowd, I take the best moments that they're enjoying of the moment.
Right.
But whenever it's like, oh, now that it's just me and this person, they're modeling for me, they're trying to get the best pictures of them. So then it's like, okay, so in that moment, I try to give a conversation. I try to, like, ask questions about them. And it's not just questions about, like, about the photography or what we're doing. Like, oh, how do you feel about it's more or less like, their life. And it's because it makes them feel comfortable. And once they feel comfortable, they feel more happier and relaxed. And then they start becoming their true selves. And then that comes and bleed out of themselves. And the camera sucks that,
Right.
It captures that moment.
Right.
And so, I've with the girl who was graduating, I was asking them like, how's school's going? How are you liking this year? Are you excited to be graduating? Is there anything that you're and I'm capturing these moments as she's talking and as she's speaking, because it makes her feel comfortable in that moment.
Right.
It's always making them feel comfortable. If they feel that they're not comfortable, then it shows on the camera that they're not comfortable, and then people see like, she doesn't look comfortable in that photo, and that's not good. It's more or less like this person is being comfortable, they're having fun, and they see that. People who look at the photos and they see that they're having fun knows that, then this photographer knows to capture those moments, that they're having fun, they're being relaxed. And that's what I try to do too. And she put out a review for me too, and I think the best thing that she said was that I treat them like if they were my own family.
Nice.
And it's like,
Great.
yeah, because they're people too.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to get out the best of them.
Oh yeah.
So that I could capture the best.
Like doing pod too is pretty much the same way. It's like, I've had people on pod. Whenever when I was learning myself doing podcasts and stuff, I've noticed that like you can't go into doing a pod and either me or the person I'm interviewing or whatever the case may be tense, because it's like, bro, like it's hard to even get questions out. Where it's like if I ask a really deep question and they come at me with a one line hitter, or something like that. And I've had that where like I tell the people that my guests and stuff like, hey, like, this is your home, this is my home. Let's be comfortable. Let's get a few drinks in, or whatever the case may be. Let's set a tone. Let's chat out for a few minutes before the pod. Let's get comfortable with each other. Let's see where our conversations go, and then let's get on pod. Because if we just jump in, I've had a few, and you can definitely tell my older stuff. You can definitely tell we just jump right in, and it like takes at least 30 minutes for anything to start flowing like an actual river. It's always like a wall. It's like we ask question, wall, and then I go, well, and then you go into another question. It's like very hard hitting. I think it goes with anything on in this spectrum and stuff. You have to make the people that you do this with very, very comfortable, very consensual, very like, hey. That's why I ask all of the people that I ask questions to, like, hey, what do you not want to talk about? Because I feel like gives you, like, we could talk about anything in the world, but if I ask what do you not want to talk about, that means that I can actually put down what those things are and then just rise up everything else that I have.
Yeah, you kind of mitigate where you can be, and
right.
And you're also knowing that, that's not what they like, but they like this now,
right? So
we can talk about this, which is good. And that's what's kind of similar with photography, was that what is one thing you don't like to do? What is the type of photography you're going for, and what's the type of, like, are we gonna do portraits? What's your good side? And what are you, and so me asking those questions of, like, these kind of like icebreaker questions, and in that moment of the shoot, it kind of makes me know, like, what type of person they are. And when I know that what type of person they are, then I try to capture that person. I try to look and see, and then they're open to even discussing what their thoughts, like, I think I want to try this, and I'm like, let's do it. If it comes out great,
right,
we got it. If it comes out terrible, we got more to shoot. We got more. We can go through more ideas.
Has there ever been a time where, like, you as a photographer go to somebody, or you are able to do you have 100% artistic freedom? I know that, like, when you do your own stuff personally, 100%, you have 100% artistic freedom.
Yeah.
But have you ever had a person come to you and be like, I want you to take photos of me, and you can do literally whatever you decide?
It was the graduation girl.
Oh, it was?
Wow. She, I mean, there was a kind of a set guideline, like, it was her, and, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say the generic graduation style, but just like, we're doing graduation photos.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already know that idea. but I wanted to try to do something different.
Right.
You know? I didn't want to keep the same style.
Right.
Even though, yeah, it still is, but it's a little bit of like it's her and my style into it. And then that's the thing too with the film photography is that it's like it's rare in this city, in locally.
Right.
There's not a lot of film photographers, if not probably none. There probably are out there, but. And that's what I'm encouraging too is that community. It was like, there's something about film photography that's like, just so it's just therapeutic for me.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I've I don't know if he does film, but he is a really good friend of mine. He does photography. Shout out to Demar Carmelo. He does photography here in Lubbock and stuff. He's a really good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. He lived where I, in my hometown, so we grew up together.
Yeah.
And I think he does film. He does film too. And one of the questions that I've always wanted to ask him is like, do you think that I wouldn't say that it doesn't hinder you, in any way, but like because film is pretty old. Am I wrong?
It is an archaic.
It's so does that is it hard in the sense of like getting the equipment that you need for film? Is it like, I wouldn't say, what am I trying to say? Is it worth it to get into film photography in this day and age?
Yes.
100%?
Because, especially if you're like a beginner and you don't know anything about photography, pick up a film camera. That thing will teach you everything what you need to know about how to take a photo.
Interesting.
Because it's going to force you to learn, because with digital, like it's there.
Right.
Everything's there. You can just boot it up, boom, take a picture, it'll do it. Film photography, you got to learn everything about exposure. You got to learn what ISO is. It will teach you. Okay. And it's going to teach you how to discipline yourself. So with that being said, like the difference between digital and film, it's like, and I use this analogy a lot when I explain to people, digital is like a dartboard, right? You have unlimited amount of darts.
Yeah.
You can see the board, and you're not on a time frame. You can throw that. You can throw as many darts, right?
Right.
With film, it's like you only have 5 darts. You're blindfolded, and somebody's telling you where to shoot the dart. So now you're kind of like, you're conservative about your shots. You're like, all right, well, I don't want to miss the shot that I'm gonna have, and I have to rely on something else telling me that, all right, yeah, this is where it's at. And I can't see it. So now, yeah, of course you're going to be conservative. You're going to take time with it. And that's what film photography is that, when you put it into the camera, when you get that roll of film, you put it in and it's in the back, and you take the shot, you just hope for it. So you have to meter, you have to like know how much light is in a room or how much light is there. Like right now I can see, because I've done it for a year, I can see that this light is too low. Right. I need something for like a 3200 ISO.
Right.
And it would be great. It'd probably give me like a 5.6 of 120. I know I'm throwing numbers right now. And it's just like, it taught me that to see like, all right, that's good light right there. Or, it's too low. Or, no, it's too bright for this kind of thing. Right. And it teaches you that, And you can translate it over to digital. And now you know both of them now.
Great.
It'll teach you discipline. It'll teach you patience. Because all right, cool, you finish a roll, right? Now you got to go get it developed. And you can develop it yourself, but then that takes a lot of money too. Right. And it takes a lot of work. Or you can send it to a lab, and now you got to wait 2 weeks for them. And then it's like Christmas. Every time you get those rolls developed and uploaded, you're like, oh, hell yeah. Because then it could be a good gift and be like, oh, my shots came out amazing. Or sometimes they'll come out blank, and you're like,
damn it,
fuck, man! Like,
what's that room that people use? The red rooms or whatever.
Dark room, yeah, dark room.
So what is that? Like, what is that? Is that film?
So, to develop film, you have to be in complete darkness.
Okay.
But the red room, like the whole room is red. That's for like printing photos.
Oh, okay.
So like it's an archaic. So there's a thing called an enlarger. and you put the film itself that you took the picture, the negative, into the enlarger, and it's like a projector, but like it's shooting down, and it's shooting onto a photographic paper that's sensitive to light. It inverts that paper inverts the color of black and white or color itself, and it'll print it onto that page.
Wow.
And so that whole development process of being in the red, it's for like photos. I kind of want to do that. That's something that I'm like, oh.
Does Amarillo have a room like that?
Not that I know of. No. If there is, it's probably in hiding. But like
yeah, it's like something like deep down underground secret.
But I do, and I did say like, oh, it feels like there's no one that does film photography here. Like, no, there is people who are, but they're not very prominent. Right. But there is this one person that is getting his equipment going, and he hit me up, and he was like, hey, like I got my equipment, I can develop film.
Nice.
So now it's like, oh, and we're trying to partner up and get that going, and
that's
probably
great.
Get people to do film photography more.
That's awesome.
And now you can locally develop it because you have to send it off to somebody else.
Right.
I send it to a place called the Dark Room, and they're good. They're reliable. I've been sending my film to them for a long time, but it takes time and it takes money. Like, it's expensive.
It's like a very patient product. Like you said, patience. It's very patience. It takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now this might be a little bit controversial for like, especially like in this type of conversation, but like, do you enjoy knowing, like, say like you're talking about film photography, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we're speaking about it right now, let's say like in a week it blows up. You know what I'm saying? Would you want that? Would you want that here for this community? Being like, oh, and then you have like 5 or 6 or 10 fucking people being like, oh, I'm doing like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper. It's not nothing like that necessarily. It's just like one of those things where it's like, I know there's a lot of podcasts here. You know what I'm saying?
So I see what you're saying. So like photography itself, just photography in general in this community is very saturated. So like generally photographers, I've met so many photographers, so many great and talented photographers. Okay. And that's not a bad thing, for me, because in business, right? In business wise, it is good to have competition. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, they're my enemies and all that. No, like there are some people that I go up to and basically like, I have questions. I'm like, hey, what do you do and all that? But competition drives innovation. So to be better, to be like, I need to be the best photographer. So it pushes you. Mm-hmm. So that's good to have competition. So to have somebody to be a good film photographer is good for me, because it's like we can work with each other, and it also drives me to be like, but I need to be good too.
Right.
And it inspires them too, and it inspires everyone. It inspires each other. And that's what I kind of want, is that not to be against each other, but to be with each other, and to build and help, and to build a community, And I've been in touch with so many great photographers in this community, and I'm so grateful to meet them. So many that are helping me, and I'm helping them, give that spotlight and give, like, hey, there's other great photographers too. So it's a good community. And do I want it to blow up? Yeah, honestly. Because like you said, like, film photography is like an archaic form. So then that means it's dying. Right. And it was dying like in the mid 2010s. Like, there wasn't really, it was mostly for like the hipsters.
Yeah. When digital came out, everybody was all on that ass of digital being like, oh shit, this is the new thing. So everything got put on the back burner of like what it used to be.
And with that being said, it became more expensive.
Oh, right.
So if it gets more exposure and it gives a lot of people to pick it up and to do it, then we get more products, more things that can help us accomplish what we can do.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, I would want it to blow up. I would want more people to pick up photography.
You heard that, photographers. Get your ass up and do some film. Get some film knowledge. Some film.
Honestly, there's been a lot of people who are like intimidated by film, and that they love digital. Nothing wrong with digital. I mean, that's where mostly my career evolves in is digital, because some people like it.
Right.
Hey, I want to see my photos right there and then now. But I don't know, something about film, and I think some people who are photographers who rely on digital should pick up film. And I think my advice is keep doing your digital as a career, but do film as a hobby. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing film photography as a hobby because I just love it. I have a passion for it. Everything about it is just, I love. And my digital is more for career.
Right.
But when it's all together a passion, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like something that you love doing.
Nice. So next question would be what cameras do you use, or if you're willing to shout those out?
No, yeah. So right now on my digital, I have a Canon T6i.
Nice.
Rebel. It was a budget digital, but it's a good one. It's giving me good shots. Been giving me great exposure. Great. I mean, it's the old reliable for me, so it's really good. And I only have like one DSLR as of right now. The cameras of the film, I have like countless of them, and they honestly, and I'm selling like probably 2 of them.
Oh, nice.
So if any photographers out there want one, like hit me up. Like yeah, I got some to spare. But the one I'm currently rocking with my 35 is a Pentax K1000.
Okay.
That's a good one. And then the other one that I have is a Minolta SRT. I think it's 200. I think it's a 200.
Okay.
I think the one that I have on my Pentax is a 35 millimeter to 70 millimeter lens. And then on the Minolta, it's a 45 millimeter lens.
Okay.
So it's lower than the standard lens, but it's really good. It gives me great colors. I think I shot not this current set, but the set before. It was a black and white film. I can't remember. This month set it was with the Pentax and it had slide film. So instead of having your film be just negative, it's actually a positive.
Oh, wow.
So you could see the photos on the film itself.
Oh, nice.
And it was expensive as hell, though. But fucking A. The first time I tried slide film, it was kind of iffy.
Right.
It was just like too dark, and I was like, I don't know if I should try it again. But I was for the graduation, and we only used a little bit of the frames. So I used the rest of the frames at the Goth Rave.
Oh, wow.
And I used flash on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see how it looks like the bright flashing. And since it's very contrasty, I think it would mitigate that brightness of the flash. So, and yeah, and when you experiment, it's so fun when you experiment.
Right.
Like, you know what? How about if I try doing this with this? And then when you do it and it comes out great, you're like, oh, cool. Like,
well, and that scene, especially at the Goth Rave, like, I think, not even knowing the ins and outs of what you did, but like they came out really well. And now that you're talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, like now that you're talking about it, it's like, yeah, especially with the people's makeup that they were wearing, their colors in their clothes, and then everything was dark. So like the back end of it like was very, very.
I was very proud.
Distorted.
I was like, yeah,
like, oh man, like everything, like the person that you were taking pictures of like really stood out. But it was also to the point where it was like their makeup and their clothes kind of like, I wouldn't say washed out, but it was like, it was perfect. It was like literally perfect.
And it wasn't like artificial.
Yeah.
They felt like candid. It was, and that's what I was trying to go for more, was very candid poses. That's what I try to make it. It's like, if it is artificial, I'll try to make it look candid. If not, I try to, like, those shows are very, like, I can get those good candid photos. And then I did on those roles, and I was grateful for that. There were some people that I wished I'd shot more photos of, but I mean, like I said, like 35 millimeter film, it gives you a certain amount of number, and that's it.
Yep.
Like, you're done. So, but I shot those photos, and I was really, really proud of it. I was really happy the way they came out, the colors. The other roll of film that I shot on came out okay. Yeah. It was black and white, and I'm very prominent in black and white. Like, that's why I'm mostly known for. But this roll came out foggy. and so I had to do some editing on that to
Yeah.
make it, get the right image that I had in my mind.
Sometimes lesson learned, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you do this thing, and you're like, oh, well, shit, next time I...
And it wasn't Effie film. Like, it wasn't a normal black and white film that I tried. It was a new film. Like, you know what? I'll try this film. And it was kind of Effie. Like, even me loading it into the camera was kind of hard because it was like breaking. Kind of like, when you get like old plastic,
right?
And it kind of just breaks off.
Yeah, very.
That's
fragile.
what it was doing.
Huh.
So I was like, I don't know if I'm. And the photos that came out, yeah, it was kind of.
If I ever got into film, I feel like I'd have to have a black book and being like, this is what I did. Don't the pros and cons to everything that I would do.
That's why,
I would forget everything. Bro.
Yeah, I have like a little notebook, and so then it tells, and I write down like my experiments.
Oh, okay.
And being like, all right, so I did this, and I try to do like the Sunny 16 rule with this type of film, and what did it get? And I get my film back, and I go,
nice,
fucking bad. Like, yeah, don't do that. Like, all right. So it reminds me later, if I try to do it again, I'll look into that book and be like, what is that? Oh, okay, I can't. I did it before. I'm not gonna do it again.
Heck yeah, dude. That's cool though.
And every failure that I do is a lesson learned. Like, I remember shooting my first roll of film, and I was so happy I shot it through, and I totally forgot that there's a process of putting into your film. It's taking it out too. And so I advanced the lever too far, so then it ripped the film out of the canister.
Oh no.
And I was like, fuck, okay. And then instead of winding it back, you're supposed to push a button on the bottom of the film before you wind it. I didn't do that, so I wind it, and it even ripped it even more.
Oh, dude.
So then I had to expose all my film that I had all my photos, and just take it out of the film.
Damn.
And it's ruined. And I was like, well, what did I do wrong? And I learned, and I was like, never do that again.
Yeah.
And even on taking photos, whenever I take a photo and I hope for the best and I send it to get, developed, and they come back and I look at it and I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, this didn't came out the way I wanted to. So what did I do wrong, and what can I do better? And like the slide film, like for this month, I shot a roll way before, and it was my first time shooting this roll of film, and I noticed like, it was Effie. Right, so like, what did I do wrong? Well, I was like, it's very contrasty. So what should I mitigate with that?
Right.
Okay, so I should shoot something that's very bright or and highlight from my meter from my highlights. And so I was like, well, what if I just do flash photography since it's so bright? So I'll mitigate that, and then boom, it got it.
It hit.
That's what I was like.
Finally, I got that.
That's it, my boy. Like, yeah, and I got it, and I was like, and then I got the roll of film too, and I was just like, all right, this is what I'm going to do with slide film. This is my go-to.
Hell yeah.
And I'll probably use that roll of film in events.
Hell yeah.
It's expensive as hell, but, like, it's worth it.
Right.
Like, getting that roll of film and then getting the photos, it comes out great. And I'm going to start using that with events like that where it's dark and it's like I have to use a flash.
Right.
That's my go-to now.
Hell yeah. There's another thing I wanted to talk about, too, with who you are, and like I don't necessarily like we met, you and me met out of a random, it was like random, like we were at a show I think, and then you came and you were taking pictures and I was like, we just greeted each other. I started talking about
like the first rave, because this rave that we just did was
that's
goth
right. That's
rave.
right.
It wasn't the first rave, but it was like my first rave that I was taking photos for.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so we were, it was at High Fidelity.
I think I have a photo of you at that time. I
so.
don't even think I remember sending it to you. I gotta send you some photos, because I think I have some on digital on this rave too.
That would be great.
So I gotta look through a bunch of photos. But yeah, no, I remember that day.
So we met each other, and one of the things that stuck out to me, because obviously you were doing photography, but one thing that stuck out to me was you're wearing those latex gloves.
Yeah.
And like right off the bat, I was like, "Oh, this guy's into something." I was like, "He's into something." I mean, you don't just like out of random just wear
wear those out.
Those out, So then we started talking about. I wouldn't say we talked about it. We touched it. We touched it a little bit. I was like, "Why are you wearing these gloves?" And you addressed it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get into that world? If you want to speak upon it.
So it starts very young. It starts very young. I guess it's just me being goth, right?
Right.
And I'll start with me being goth. I remember I was very little, and it was whenever like I was like 5, so it was like 2006 or 2005. And my dad would be in the mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would go on the Hot Topic because he was kind of into the goth scene too. He was into it, but he wasn't goth. He was just like, I kind of fucking dig it. And he would bring me to the store, and I got lost. It's like he lost me in a Hot Topic, and I was like, "Where's my dad? Like, where's all, and it's fucking dark."
Well, back then too, like everybody, if people don't know, Hot Topic was badass. I mean, Hot Topic's cool now, but like Hot Topic back then was the fucking shit, dude. Like, oh man, I remember one year Halloween, they used to have those latex masks, and they had like rows of them for Halloween. They were the coolest fucking Halloween masks.
And that's the thing. Like, I saw those, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I was like, that's fucking cool. And there was this goth chick, this big, tall goth chick, looks down at me, and I thought she was the fucking beautifulest thing in the world. I was like, little old 5-year-old me was just like, damn, that's fucking hot. Like, and she looked at me, saw me, smiled, and then gave me a wink. And then I was like,
you knew this was your home?
That's it, man. I'm going to be goth. I want to be goth. And so, and then, when you're 12-year-old and you have unrestricted internet access.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're like, I kind of like some of this stuff.
Hey, man.
And so, and then when I incorporated it with my fashion, was whenever I was like probably 18 or 17. I was in high school and like in Tascosa, right? And I was kind of like the guy who kind of did away with the dress code because I was wearing, and I was like the only person who was wearing this.
Right.
And like I would have like this jacket with a bunch of patches. I had like a wolf in the back, and I still have that jacket. And I would wear everything black, and then my pants would have a bunch of chains.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
You got the fucking trip pants going.
Yeah, and like I had like mounts and mounts of chains. Like every time I walk, it was just rattling.
Sound like you have fucking coins in your pocket.
Yeah, like if I'm some fucking ghost just walking in the halls and there's chains rattling. Like, what is that? Oh, that's Roman. And I had like long hair, but and messy, and that's what I loved. But the reason why I was incorporating that was because it's like I wasn't afraid to show that what I was into.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is the stuff that I like, and I want to incorporate that. So I love like these like chokers and ropes and chains and gloves. I don't know something about gloves for me, but it just feels like sexual and very hot to wear these black gloves. For me, wearing them, it's just, and it makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable, confident. Mm-hmm. Makes you feel like your real self.
And there's people who, and especially at that rave too, when I was wearing those gloves, they would like ask me, and they were like, "Man, I don't know if I could wear those gloves out there. Like, that's pretty cool that you're out here wearing them." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just makes me feel comfortable wearing them." And there's also a thing where it's like, I tell guys too, where it's like, I'm supposed to threaten your sexuality. Right. I'm comfortable with mine. Mm-hmm. Are you? And it's like, and they get like weirded out, and it's, I don't know. It's just like I find those things very, very attractive. Right. It's unorthodox. Yeah. It is taboo, but I love that. And I don't know. That goth rave, I was dressed with that fishnet and those big black gloves, and that shibari. Thank God for because that's what I'm into. Right. So I wanted to show off that like I love that kind of stuff.
Is it so like the shibari and stuff? Is that like a bondage thing, or is it just like a fashion thing to you, or like what is it? Both.
Both. I love wearing it as a fashion because I think it looks really cool.
Right.
Kind of breaks gender norms. It's not like like it's like anybody can do this. You know? But it's also a fantasy, kind of a kink thing, because I don't know that whole restriction thing and tight and all that is like.
I don't want to
be. It's like
a
little hug. Yeah.
It's like a little sinister hug. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I kind of, so like my background too, like, in junior high and high school, I was a goth too. I still count myself as a goth. You don't really stop being a goth. I kind of like, I started getting into more like fashion sense and like, colors and stuff, but like deep down, man, like I'm still trying to find my perfect trip pants. I used to have tons of trip pants, but I wore those to fucking shit. You know, like they were unwearable. You know, and growing up, dude, like I'm fucking 6'4.5". You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't stop growing until I was like 20. You know, and I'm 29 now. So like, you know, being 16, having trip pants, and then like I just grew out of them. You know what I'm saying? And then you know, I do my own job, and then trip pants like stopped being a hot topic, so you had to order them, and then ordering them plus like them being like $120 already. I'm like, dude, they're so fucking expensive, you know. And I can make my own, which I'm trying to. Like I actually have some pants that I'm actually this year I'm going to make my own trip pants and stuff. But like, you know, I was that kid too. Like, but like I was in a small town, like super small town. Like I was the only goth kid. Like they were like, dude, you're fucking weird as fuck.
And for the longest time before this year, exactly this year, it felt like I was like the only goth in the city. Right. Like how I feel about like saying like I'm the only film photographer here.
Right.
It's the same way as a goth until this year.
Right. And that's the cool thing, because like I felt like you were talking about those things, and I was like, I've only been in Amarillo for about 2 years. So like I lived in Friona, and then I moved to Hereford, which is not that far, and then I'm Canyon. So like this is the biggest city I've actually been in, you know. And seeing the music scene and stuff, like it's prominent, the community's good, but like there's things that like people don't see, like the underground punk scene, you know, the underground like goth realm, like there's like, you know, I mean it's not a bad thing, but like, you know, the rats of this town, you know what I'm saying, the fucking
I love that. No, I dig
dingy,
that.
the grungy, the rats of the town, bro. And it's like
because we're all digging the dirt and all.
Yeah,
that.
And
digging the graves. I love that.
Once you get like a good night on 6th Street or somewhere in that realm, bro, like you're like, oh shit, like there is a place for me. Because I feel like there's a lot of people.
And there is a community.
Yeah, there's a community. There's people like me. Yeah. And when people come to Amarillo, they think it's all country, all like, you know, hold up, you know. No. But it's like, yeah, get yourself on a Saturday night, like real deep, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, fucking 6th Street. You'll see somebody, and you're like, oh, fuck.
And that brings me to my other point, too, is that, like, I'm loving the fact that there is a community here. So like there was the goth prom,
right?
And there's so many people, so many.
Dude, I was surprised. I was really surprised.
Holy shit! Like I am not the only one.
Like there was older people. Like
I'm happy that I'm not the only goth in this town, because for a long time it felt like I was the only one. And to see that there are actually people who identify themselves as goth, and who you know, are willing to come out in the darkness and share and build this community. And not only that, like me having Friday night open mic.
Oh, right.
Being the host for that.
Yeah, we can talk about that, dude, because that's something that you create, like you created that. Well,
I wouldn't say I created it. I won't take the
credit of building that.
Yeah, anything. It was a girl by the name of Caitlin.
Okay.
Caitlin Dowdy. And she was the first host for that event.
Oh, wow.
And that was like in 2021. Okay. And she was hosting it. And here come little me dressed the way I was dressing. And that caught her attention, and I became a regular for her event. And I think last year is when she decided not to be host.
Oh, wow.
And she knew that I was her, you know, best regular.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided to give it to me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I wanna build this thing, because I think there's potential to having a community that's really good. And now I've officially done the hosting for a year.
Nice.
And a lot of people that came out and use that community, use that event to be safe, to express themselves safely, and express themselves openly and confidently. You know that you're not alone in this.
Right.
You know you can be weird, you can be unique, you can be freaky,
you can be different.
You can be different, and you can be safe while you're doing it. And that's what I've wanted to do. I wanted to build a community, both for film photography, both for photography, and both for the goth community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was doing with Fright Night, was building a community and giving these people who have a voice and who are unique and are stands out, who are the weirdos, and giving them a safe place to be open and be communicative about.
Yeah.
You know, and
because what does that entail? Like the Fright Night. What does that entail? When you go in there, like what is it? What is it about? What do y'all do?
So this is what I tend to tell people. So, and whenever I go up to people to sign up for the thing, I tell them, you know, so this is Friday Night open mic. So it's like an open mic, but instead of doing, you know, just anything goes, it's more like we tell scary stories, scary poems. You know, you have a ghost story, or you have a fucking crazy thought that you might think people might think of you weird. Anything, but anything horror related, we try to keep it spooky.
Okay.
You know, and because it is kind of hard to explain to people, because whenever they think it's like a regular open mic, you know, which the 806 has,
right?
You know, but so then they hear like Friday Night open mic, like what is that about? So explaining it is like, it's kind of hard, because it's like, well, it's for like a horror theme open
right
mic, you know, and it's for these, and seeing goths go up there to tell their stories, or these horror stories, the weirdos, the Edgar Allan Poes, and then people coming out getting dressed goth, it brings a smile to my face.
Right.
So we try to keep it creepy, try to keep it spooky.
Do y'all do that every Friday?
So we do it every third Thursday.
Every third Thursday.
Which is kind of hard to say, because I'm like, yeah, we do it every third Thursday, and people are like, they look at a calendar and they have to count there. So it's kind of hard, because it's just like, fuck, like, you know, and sometimes it'd be like, oh, I thought this was the third Thursday. It's like, no, that was last Thursday. And it's like, oh, fuck, man. So it's kind of hard. So I always try to pull out the date. Like, I think in April, don't quote me on this, I'm going to have to look that up. But it's on the third Thursday, but it's much easier to tell them the date.
Right.
So they'll be like, oh, cool. So they'll write it in, and they'll plan it out, and it gives them a week ahead. And on the account, because there's a separate account, it was called the Fright Night of 806. And on that Instagram, I put out like each poster each Thursday leading up to the actual Thursday that we do it. And so I release like about 6 posters, and sometimes they have a theme, sometimes it's just the basic.
Right.
Like January was my birthday month, and on that January I had an art show at High Fidelity with my photography. So the posters were photos of what I captured.
Nice.
And to tell like, hey, this is birthday month, and we're also celebrating that it's an art show. And then Valentine's were mostly like photos or art pieces that were like romance, but not really. Like there was one photo that I love, or one art piece that was what's his name? Edvard of Munich. He's the painter of the Scream.
Yeah.
He painted or he did an art piece where it was girl kissing a skeleton, or kissing death. Oh. And I really liked how it looked, and those type of like art pieces, you know. And then I think in March we kind of just did different, like just a different scheme, a different art scheme.
Right.
You know, to tell. And
they're and the Fright Nights, they're 806.
Yeah.
On 6th Street.
On 6th Street.
So third Thursday, third Thursday Fright Night at the 806 on 6th Street.
Yeah. Go check it out. Like it's an amazing place to be open. We have sidekicks. We have a sidekick reading.
Cool.
We also have a champagne specials, and then
maybe I need to show up. I do a little bit of some practices and stuff.
Joby used to show up a lot. And there was like a lot of people who showed up too.
And that's the thing too, is like me and Joby.
It is on a weird day too. It's on a third
not
Thursday.
Even that. It's just like I would love to go. The job that I have is at night, and it really sucks. So, but me and Joby have been like really talking about like, hey, like maybe we need to, because like the night stuff. I've been doing night shift for a long time. I've been doing night shift since 2016. All of my jobs have been night shift. And so like I've been accustomed to nights all the time. So like my life has been revolved around okay, I can do these things during the day, and then at night I work, and then that. So I'm used to this. But now, me and Joby are, I'm getting more involved in like scenes and more involved in things that people do and stuff. And they're like, oh, it's this day it's on Wednesday. And I'm like, bro, like I can't fucking make it because, I got to work and stuff. But me and Joby have been talking about like, maybe we should look into like a day job because it's really hindering us from meeting people, doing what we actually love to do. I would love to come to a Friday night and do like some tarot reading or like some, cause I'm a dream interpreter. I love I interpret dreams very well. I've learned that like great. 2 years ago. I would have these really crazy dreams, and then like one of these dreams like told me like I was really thinking about dreams, and then I had a dream about. It's a crazy situation, but like somebody gave me this book in my dream, and it was like, if you're gonna do this, then you gotta do it for real. Damn. And I was like, dang. And I woke up and I was like, I'm doing this for real. So I got into dream interpreting and stuff, and. I love doing that kind of thing. A lot of people don't know about me, and they've caught glimpses of like what I've done in pod and stuff, but I don't really like talk about it a lot because it's very like nuanced and like very like people look at me differently and stuff. But that would be a good place for me to even like
do it. I mean, hey, hit me up thing. And we'll set it up and all that.
But yeah, dude, that's awesome. I thought because whenever I met you and stuff, you did talk about that, and then. I think we were doing something. Joby was doing something at 8:06, and then you're like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready for my Fright Night stuff." And I was like, "Oh, and I think I just assumed that like you created it. Well, it's nice to know now that like where it came from.
Yeah, a lot of people thought I created it, and I'm like, nah, like it was a girl that started it, and
well, that's good that you're keeping the thing going. You got the baton, and you're still going with it.
And even then, whenever I do the event, I do photography there too.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like, I try to like keep people involved and showing that this is a live event.
Heck yeah.
And there's a community that I'm trying to build and people there's people that I care about and people that I've came in contact that are just beautiful people. Right. Both photography and the Fright Night, the goth community.
And I feel like 806, High Fidelity, and they're right next to each other. So like they're like. But I feel like those two places alone on 6th Street really have a heart for people like us, have a heart for people like Underground, the Nitty Gritty, the Rats of Amarillo. Joby really hates this analogy, but like I talked myself into doing these things because I'm a cockroach, I'm a roach. They might be the grossest fucking thing that you've ever seen in your life or whatever, but I survive. You know what I'm saying? And if I wasn't here, if I wasn't here, then it wouldn't work because roaches, they decompose, they take care of the cleaning, all that stuff, and I'm a roach. Rats, roaches, all those weird ass fucking possum, bat, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're needed. Yeah. There's a moth?
Yeah,
bro, I haven't seen a bug in a while.
Well, speaking of fucking
speaking of crazy shit, a fucking moth just like was hanging out with us. That's crazy, bro. That's how you know you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about something and then it just shows up.
Yeah.
That's what I like to know. But I was gonna say this too. Do you go by Roman for your photography? Like, do you go by, or do you have like a?
So I was seeing that this morning, because I was ordering some business cards because I need to get networking going,
Right.
And I was just like, should I separate? Because like all my photography is basically in one Instagram, so like whenever they're like, oh, how do I come in contact? Which is my Instagram's at Wolves for Warfare.
Right.
But then I thought, well, that's my personal. That really acts as both my personal and my photography account. So I was like, man, should I separate it or should I just like? But I don't want to taint a good thing,
Right.
It's working for me, it is working. So I'm like, I don't know.
What's your last name again?
Juarez.
So, with a J.
J.
It'd be cool. I'm gonna shoot this out right now. Just an idea. RJ, Omen. RJ Omen. I like the Omen thing. I don't know. You can work with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you. I'm passing that to you.
I need some workshop. Not gonna lie.
You're like, nah, fuck that. Shut your fucking mouth.
I'm not saying that. But I mean, I've been thinking about it too.
Hell yeah, dude.
So.
Once you get your I feel like there's a time and place because whenever I was doing my music and stuff, like my first rap name was Psy, Almighty Psy. I liked it. I got it from my street. Everybody loves Psy. But then like growing into my music, I was like, man, I don't know if I like Psy. And I went through a whole bunch of rap names for a little bit, and then I was like, I can't get away from Psy. Like, I can't get away from the almighty Psy. So it just stuck with me. So like, I feel like a lot of people in like, you know, doing this kind of stuff and like trying to make a name for themselves, sometimes it's good to stick with your name. Sometimes it's great to just stick with what you are and what that is. Boom, you know.
Yeah.
But there's other times where it's like, you know, maybe I do need to make a change, or maybe it's time to step it up a little bit or whatever.
Do a little rebranding.
Yeah, rebranding and stuff, and boom.
And I'm not gonna confirm that I'm going to do a rebranding. That maybe not. Maybe that's a little tease. But for now, I'm gonna stick it out and see how it works. And then maybe later down the road.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know.
Because how long have you been doing photography?
Surprisingly, over a year now.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, over a year. I've always had the passion. I've always wanted to do photography when I was very young. But it's just, you know, I was poor too. You know, my parents couldn't afford a great camera.
Right.
So like, you know, and I was still kind of lost. I didn't really find my passion. I was trying to find my passion. I was trying to find something that I'm like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And just last year, that's when I, or the year before really, but like last year was when I solidified me being a photographer. Like, that's something I want to do the rest of my life.
Good.
That's something that I want to do.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to bite it. You just like, you know what? I have a couple bucks in my account. Fuck it, I'm just gonna bite it and fucking do it, because that's how. I mean, I feel like that's how everything starts. You just wake up one day and you're like, I'm gonna do it. It's like either now or never.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm always trying to use, because I'm always out and about. I'm always doing something, and it's always something for my photography. You know, of course, it's like my personal life, yes.
Right.
But like for my photography, I'm always trying to do something. You know, I'm always on top of it. I'm always like...
You're always there, bro. Whenever I show up or something, or there's something going on, you're always there. So I know that you're reliable, and even if people don't even know that you're going to be there, you end up showing up anyway. So, like...
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get something and you're going to post it. You know
I'm always trying to do 100%. You know, I'm always trying to make my work valued, you know.
Right.
And it's what I'm trying to work for.
Good.
It's what I'm doing.
How do people get in contact with you, whether it be for photography itself or just to even follow you or anything?
So just like what I said, it was the Instagram. That's mostly, but everywhere you find me, it's gonna be at Wolves for Warfare. Everywhere.
Okay.
You know, both
Facebook,
Wolves
Instagram, for Warfare.
Yeah, Wolves with a 4 Warfare.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like I don't know. I thought of that username when I was like high school. And I thought, kind of sounds like it used to be Bears for Broccoli. I was like, all right, let's change it up. And so, but I just thought it would be funny if it was like if it's like an animal campaigning for something. Right. So Wolves for Warfare
it does fit you.
Yeah.
Wolves for Warfare.
Yeah.
I mean, it fits.
I love wolves. Like that's like, if I want to be an animal. Well, if I want to be an animal, I'd be a dog in Mexico.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Because at one time when I was like little. Or no, when I was like 15 or 16, we went to like a quinceañera, but it was like a traditional one, so they had to be in church for the first part, and then we go party.
Yeah.
But it was the first part, and I was standing there, and it's fucking hot in Mexico, so they have the doors open. And then all of a sudden, I see this gray dog walk up to the quinceañera girl, bless her, and then leave out.
Ooh.
And I'm like, Did everyone fucking see that? Like, there's a fucking dog.
Yeah, and nobody touched him or nothing.
Yeah, and it's doing the blessing. I'm just like, what the fuck? And so after we partied, after we went to the, you know, we danced our shit out. We were like, we're fucking hungry. Like, we want something to eat. So we're like, there's this taco place. Let's go get some carne asada and eat some tacos. We go to that place, and I'm eating, and I'm like fucking tearing shit up. The same fucking dog comes into the taco place, goes up to the cash register, and just like, hey, like, it doesn't speak, but it kind of like looked at it, saying in his mind like, hey, give me a taco. And the guy's like, yeah, come dumbass, and then gives him a fucking taco, and he leaves, and I'm like, I want to be fucking that. I want to be that fucking dog, just minding his own business, gives tacos for free, lays on the fucking street. Like, Fucking, I want to be a dog in Mexico, man.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a
Living
good one.
life.
Living life. Just blessing quinceañeras and eating tacos, dude. That's fucking dope. That's a dope-ass life.
It's either that or a bee. Cause then
bees are cool, too.
Yeah. Because then I heard, like, they don't really, like, I heard, like, either the queen picks one guy and then the queen just has, like, an orgy with him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, that'd be great, too.
Yeah, bees are ruthless when it comes to the hive. But, you know, we got to have bees, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We got to have bees or we're dead. We're fucked.
Ooh.
We're fucked. But, yeah. Wolves for Warfare on Instagram?
Everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Mostly on Instagram. That's where I'm mostly active.
And if people are looking for, you know, your talent and stuff, just hit you up on Instagram, hit you up on anywhere, or is it like...
Yeah, so, like, it's going to be on Instagram. It's Wolves for Warfare. So if you want to hit me up for anything, you know, if you want to, like, talk, or if you want to do something with my photography and all that, yeah, hit me up. And I'm open. You know, I'm open for
And
any
then every third Thursday... Fright night.
Yeah, so if you want to catch me hosting, you know, they say I'm a pretty good host. Kind of just wing it, you know. I kind of just like
you got the mustache for it, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I try to put on a good showmanship, you know.
Yeah, you look like the descendant of what's his name, the guy that wrote the Satanic Bible. So.
Wow.
What was his name? Joby, babe.
Anton LaVey was it?
Yeah, Anton LaVey. Are you Anton LaVey's uncle or nephew? I'm just kidding. But you do have that sinister, you know, the mustache, and you can probably comb your.
My dad told me that I look like you ever played Loteria?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look like the devil. I'm just like, great, Dad.
You're like, awesome, thanks. But dude, I'm glad that we finally got to do this pod. You know, we were talking about it for a while, and I'm glad that we got to sit down and actually talk about the stuff that you do. I see what you do. It's great work, and I'm glad that you're doing what you do.
And I hope I'm able to inspire some people with it.
Oh, definitely.
And build, like I said, I'm trying to build communities and trying to build myself while and I've seen so many beautiful people come up to me and I cannot thank them enough too, because they're the one that's making, like, everything that they do. Like, I have to thank them for that.
Yeah.
You know,
good.
Where I'm at and being grateful for it.
Right.
So,
100%.
And yeah, I've really appreciated this.
Yeah, I'm glad, dude. You know, it's a real chill spot now. I'm gonna be here for a while. You know what I'm saying? Until she kicks me out, until she's done with me or whatever. But you know, this is the spot now, and I feel comfortable. It's been a long time. You know, the podcast going from one place to another. You know, I was kind of like floating for a minute. You know, I didn't know what was going on, but now I got this dope ass couch. Got some art behind us, and we're just shooting the shit, and that's how I like it. I like it raw. I like it peaceful, very calm, it's safe space to talk about what you want. And honestly, I'm just glad to get another mosh fit in here. We call everybody that gets on MOSHCAST, we call them moshfits. So you're a new mosh fit.
Nice.
And I'm glad that I got a new face on here to talk their shit and tell us what you do. You know, hopefully somebody that is looking into photography watches this and decides to shoot the shot.
Go for it. Do it. I mean, again, if you're struggling, pull through. I mean, you're going to learn a lot. You might be self-insecure about the shots you do, but just take it. No matter if they're good or bad, just take the shot. Just shoot your
shot, dude.
Yeah, shoot your shot, dude, because you don't know what you're going to get, you know? It may come out great. It may come out bad. Learn from it. You know, learn that, hey, you know what, I did good on this, I'm gonna do it again. And if you did bad, learn from it again. Like, hey, that wasn't great, what did I do wrong? Just go out and shoot. Okay. Anything do not stop. Be persistent. If you really truly love something, you're gonna do it. And you're gonna work on yourself, and you're gonna struggle. You know, there's things that you're gonna struggle, but just keep moving forward and keep doing it, and you're gonna find that love for it, you know, and you're gonna show the world through your eyes, okay? And like, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Just do it. You know, the time is now.
Yeah.
There ain't no better time except for now. You're never going to have the best time to doing it until you just do it.
Yeah.
That is the moment you get that spark, the moment you do it, that's when you do it.
Yeah.
And there will be no going back. There's always other times to do it. There will be other times to do it for sure. But right now, if you got it right now, do it.
And then ask people, you know, if they're doing it, if they've been there longer, like just ask them.
Yeah. You don't got anybody? YouTube.
Yeah. That's where I mostly learned a lot of my shit.
Yeah. Oh, I don't got internet. Library.
Yeah.
You're gonna make so much excuses for yourself until there's nothing. You can't back down it. There's always a library somewhere.
And if there's a way, there's
if there's a will, there's a way, dude.
Yeah.
So
and like I said, like if you have troubles, you know, you can find me on Instagram. Yeah. You can ask me like, hey, I've been getting.
Just walk up to him, be like, hey, help me.
Yeah, and I'm more than willing to just help because it's building that community.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been in your shoes where you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not so, and I was like, hey, you know, you got it. You know?
It's it. Roman, thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for talking for a little bit. Joby, thanks for your wisdom and your knowledge of knowing things. Yeah. Like always, we'll see you next week. Go fuck yourself.